Stop playing, what are you talking about? Put an end to the Let Go song. The conflict between Kirk Frost and Mendeecees wasn't unexpected. It has been simmering beneath the surface for some time, and those close to both sides claim that relations between them were never particularly cordial. They appeared to be friendly on the outside, but they couldn't stand one another behind closed doors. It all began months ago when Mendeecees publicly criticized Kirk at an industry panel on legacy protection. At first, the comment seemed harmless, but it was about not letting fame make you forget who you are at home. However, many who disagree claim that the line was directed specifically at Kirk, who took it seriously given the years-long rumors of infidelity that had plagued him and Rashida. A few days later, he was spotted making ambiguous comments about clout chasers attempting to remain relevant on Instagram Live. Mendeecees responded with a post of his own saying, "Don't throw rocks if your house is made of receipts," marking the beginning of the actual back and forth. Private DM began to leak after that, and Kirk threatened to handle matters off camera. Conversely, Mendeecees was informing people that Kirk needed to be reined in because he was becoming irresponsible. The story took a darker turn at that point. "I've been disappointed all my life, right? I had expectations, and everyone let me down. I didn't want this relationship to end. Did you let her know that you told her that, but did you really mean that I didn't mean it? I won't lie, I didn't mean it. I just wanted to see if she took the exit, like, if he's saying to me, sometimes I'll take it, and sometimes you give someone an out and see if they take it, and if they take it that's what they really want, the out." Mendeecees claims that Kirk confronted him at an Atlanta rooftop lounge during a networking event. Mendeecees said Kirk was hostile right away, attempting to antagonize him, getting into his personal space, and using profanity. He claimed that things became physical after Kirk shoved him first. Kirk provided an entirely different account, claiming that Mendeecees was the one who confronted him and that he responded solely to protect himself. It was simply hearsay for weeks until someone made a recording, and everything changed when that video was shown in court. The video was captured by a security camera at the rooftop lounge where the gathering was held. It was a private event. The A-list TV crews, stylists, artists, influencers, and red carpet arrivals floated past the area, but none of them anticipated what transpired next. The video began with individuals drinking and laughing while background music played. Mendeecees was observed conversing with two other males while standing by the bar. Kirk came into view at that point, but he wasn't by himself, he had his helper and another man following him. Kirk can be seen clearly looking around the room before heading straight for Mendeecees. Without hesitating or pausing, Kirk simply walks over, says something, and then throws the first swing. It wasn't a slight shove or defensive move, rather, it was a full-fledged punch aimed directly at Mendeecees' face. The lounge staff and security hurried in, tearing them apart. Mendeecees tried to defend himself, but it was obvious that he was reacting. He never started the fight, he only reacted after Kirk swung first. The video made that very clear. The problem is that Kirk had previously told the court that Mendeecees was the aggressor. He claimed that he felt threatened and that he only acted to protect himself, but the video doesn't support that. Actually, it does the exact opposite. It portrays Kirk as the one who entered the room hot and attacked without warning. If you thought the video was explosive, wait until you hear how the courtroom felt like the air was being drawn out of it. The crazy thing about that is that, at first, I didn't think she could do it correctly because I knew how needy she was. And before I had this case, everyone's eyes were fixed on the TV as soon as the court tape began to play. But the true tale was there if you were observing the people instead. Mendeecees hardly blinked as he sat motionless with his arms crossed. That serene collected energy remained constant throughout the video. Conversely, Kirk was unable to conceal anything. The second the video started you could see the shift crossing and uncrossing his arms. He shifted in his chair, glanced at his lawyer, then at the judge before turning back to the screen. The moment the video made it obvious that he approached Mendeecees and made the initial swing, Kirk's entire atmosphere fell apart. When the video contradicted Kirk's earlier claims, you could feel the atmosphere shift. The man appeared to have been videotaped doing exactly what he had vowed he hadn't done. The courtroom wasn't prepared. The gallery's patrons were in disbelief. And there were whispers throughout the space as if everyone was attempting to simultaneously convey what they had just witnessed. Some even leaned forward, as though viewing it from a different perspective would somehow make the reality easier to accept. Even the judge had to briefly halt the proceedings. That type of moment doesn't occur in court unless something significant has just landed, so he looked down, shuffled his papers, and took a deep breath. The subsets and the entire courtroom was aware of what had just transpired and that Kirk had lied under oath on something that the video had just revealed. Mendeecees didn't boast or celebrate, but the stillness in that courtroom was more powerful than words, and everyone began to think the same thing. Kirk's narrative was unraveling. However, social media did what it does well as soon as this film went viral online, so the courtroom wasn't the only place that was buzzing. "Kirk is throwing hands and lies in the same week," was one of the most widely shared tweets. "I'm glad he was apprehended in 4K, but he continues to act like a victim. He really thought we weren't going to see him hit back like Mike Tyson," read another tweet. Extreme remarks were made about the Shade Room on Instagram. "He had all that mouth for the cameras, but that courtroom silence was loud," one person wrote. "You cannot pretend that you won't be exposed by lying to men." TikTok also ran with it. The app was filled with dramatic sound effects and video edits that appeared everywhere. Captions and slow-motion replays, such as Kirk's falsehoods exiting his body when contrasting Kirk's first comment with the frame-by-frame video. Some users went into great detail. Others merely laughed and ran it back. The irony was not lost on anyone, and it turned into a full-fledged internet moment. Kirk had vigorously promoted the victim's story. He presented it as though Mendeecees had been the aggressor in interviews, social media posts, and even LoveAndHipHop. Therefore, the internet didn't hold back when the video surfaced and shown differently. In fact, some well-known people jumped in, and Mendeecees Smith shared the video. Fans were initially divided, but they are now united after Carly Red posted a reply video to her Instagram story in which she simply shook her head without saying anything. After the footage came out, the narrative flipped completely in the video. Menz wasn't just protecting himself, he was also protecting his reputation from a bogus allegation that had now been fully revealed. However, the courtroom revealed receipts. Just when everyone believed the video was the final nail in the coffin, the purported text messages sent from Kirk's mobile device. "As much as you all want to talk about Kirk, that Kirk, and how you believe your grandmother made it and had your mother have you," the prosecution coolly submitted a printed stack of messages taken straight from Kirk Frost's phone just as the excitement was waning. "You're going to hit a dark road and you better know how to get through that, mother. You better know the path." These were timestamped direct messages that provided a devastating account of the events leading up to the incident. They were neither rumors nor assumptions. The screen's initial message was straightforward. "He won't anticipate it." That may sound odd on its own, but when combined with the scene of a planned altercation and the video that made it obvious that Kirk was intensifying a heated argument, this statement made sense. It suggested that Kirk wasn't only responding when he entered with a strategy. The next one, "I don't care what happens," hit the room hard. "He has to know that I'm not playing." Even the judge leaned forward as the courtroom fell silent. These texts weren't spontaneous outbursts of emotion, rather, they were sent before the altercation even broke out and before any words were spoken. This demonstrated purpose. According to the law, that alters everything. It implied that Kirk entered the discussion already agitated and prepared to make a point rather than ease tension. The entire tone of a case changes when you move from responding to an event to organizing an interaction. There are layers of premeditation in what was originally an overly strong case, and that is a major matter in court. Online legal experts following the case have already commented, pointing out that these communications expose Kirk to allegations of malevolent intent. This is more than simply a brawl between two reality TV stars, it's now about motivation and preparation, and when you combine that with the video evidence, Kirk's entire defense starts to unravel. The prosecution contended that these communications unequivocally demonstrated Kirk's deliberate intent to convey a sense of control rather than just emotion. And when you're under intense legal investigation, that's perilous territory. Additionally, if Kirk appeared nervous on the video, these texts made him appear as though he had seen a ghost.